It's delicious.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. All right, people are starting to pour in here. Get everybody in and get our day started. Hope you guys are having a nice week. Happy Friday. We made it. All right, we'll get going here in just a moment. All right, well, I guess we'll get started. Nobody's, well, of course now. I was gonna say nobody's banging on my waiting room door here. So hi, everybody. I know we had a weird class yesterday. We just kind of sat in our dark Zoom room here and just hung out for an hour while you were hopefully on the other side of that filling out your FAFSA. So you either have finished that or not at this point. It does take, from start to finish about an hour, but getting all of the documents that you need can, add days or weeks to that process. So hopefully, in the next few days, you're able to connect with whoever you need to connect with and get the documents that you need. The plan today is to have us get into breakout rooms that hopefully don't send you off to some weird place by yourself, and just kind of debrief, like you started at least a process that is a really big deal, and it's something we've been talking about for 4 years. And so I just want you to kind of share with each other how it went, where you're at, and what you need to do to get things done, so that we can kind of have some more accountability out there. If you put it out in the world, if you say it out loud, you've got people there rooting for you, and you feel a little bit more pressure maybe to get it done. So you'll just chat with each other about this kind of new experience we've all had. I will answer any questions that you have remaining about the FAFSA, and then I'm going to have you take a short survey just so I know where each of you are in that process, because I need to know what our next steps should be as well. So you'll have multiple accountability partners by the end of today around the FAFSA, including your teacher, Ms. Perez, if we need to get her involved. I'm going to speak briefly today about the ORSA, which we haven't talked as much about, but that is the Oregon State version of the FAFSA. So if there are any students that are undocumented status or have DACA legal protections, you can apply for ORSA instead of FAFSA, and that might be something that you or someone you know might need to do. The other thing that we'll be doing today is kind of circling back to the Common App stuff that we started to talk about on Tuesday, and get us going hopefully with applying for that. So really all I want you to do this weekend is to focus on continuing to complete the FAFSA if you've not yet done so. Again, the sooner you get it done, the more money you may get. And so we'll just keep talking about that stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute or pop it in the chat. But so far, we doing okay out there? I don't know, because nobody turns their cameras on. Just crazy to me. You're my only class that does that. All right. So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and the expectation is not that necessarily you have to have your cameras on, but that you do need to have your mic on. So, if we're talking about Zoom etiquette, anytime you're in a breakout room for any class, while you're in a big group, it's proper to have your mic off, but it's actually the opposite. In these smaller rooms, the expectation is that you should be participating and talking. So unless you have something loud going on in your background that's kind of constant, that you just need to unmute and mute, you should have yourself unmuted. So, okay, I'm going to send you into some breakout rooms, and all you're talking about is how you're doing with the FAFSA, like where are you at? So you're sharing where you're at, and then maybe what you need to do to get it done. And you can use this time to just chat with each other about the experience overall, and then ask any questions that maybe you have that other students might have the answer for. So just chat for a few minutes, okay? Get you talking. I'm gonna have 3 to 4 people per room. If you get thrown into a room by yourself, that is not supposed to happen, though it has happened for me a couple times this week. So you can ask for help, and I can come into your room and try and help you figure it out. So, okay. All right, get into your rooms. You should get a request now. Talk to each other. Don't just sit there. You gotta talk. All right, you should see a request box, I believe, though nobody's going. Do you see a request box that popped up?
We don't see anything.
Really? Man, Zoom is like losing it this week. Okay, let's see. Do you see it now? Okay, all right, people are going. All right, you're going into Zoom rooms. Jake, Toby, Jan, Carolina.
As math is, it doesn't show me one.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna send you into one here. Toby, you need a room. There you go. Toby, did you get a request? I don't know if Toby's there. Toby. Hi, Omar. We are in breakout rooms right now. They're just chatting about your experiences with FAFSA and kind of sharing where you're at and what you need to do to get done. So I'm gonna throw you into breakout room 1.
All right.
Hi, Juan. We're in breakout rooms for just another 30 seconds or so at this point. I'm going to throw you into breakout room 2. They're just talking about FAFSA, like how'd it go? What do you need to do still? That kind of stuff.
All right, for sure.
Okay. All right, people are popping back in. The rooms are closing in a few seconds here. All right, they are closed. So does anybody, I'm curious, want to share anything? So something you said, something somebody else said. What has your experience been with FAFSA? I want to know. Uh-oh, Talia's room, nobody talked, huh? That's not, even after I had said, please participate. You guys, you know, it's so boring to be on these Zoom calls. I hate it. I'm in a room by myself talking to no one, literally, in this class. And, you know, it's just nice to be in a little room, like talking to people. We're isolated all the time with our families. And so, you know, if given the opportunity to talk to people that aren't the people you live with, take it. Like, you know, we're all going to come out of this being really weird, antisocial people if we don't figure this out. So yeah, you got to participate when asked to participate. You all shared an experience. You know, you're being thrown a lot of tasks that feel very adult-like. And so for the first time in your life, you might be feeling like a little freaked out or like, wow, this is happening. And it is. So, you know, you're having these shared experiences. It's nice to be able to talk to some people that you've known for 4 years now, some of you longer. So, you know, yeah, if you're going to these rooms not talking, you're missing an opportunity, right? So anyway, anybody have anything to share about the FAFSA experience?
It's not that difficult as it sounds to be.
Okay,
If
good.
if you just have the proper tools to have it, like have all of the page papers and stuff, then you're actually able to do it quite quickly.
Right. So yeah, the thing that takes so long is getting the stuff you need, right? That you might not have easy access to, which is why, you know, we gave you kind of a week ahead of time, you know, a heads up of this is what you're going to need. So Kaylee, did you finish?
I'm almost done. I just have to get some paperwork from my mom, then I'll be done.
Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, you know, everybody has different situations. Some of us are in more complicated situations than other, but the FAFSA itself, once you get everything you need, it should not take you that long. That the average is 55 minutes for students to fill it out. So good. Okay. Any other thoughts, feelings, takeaways? Okay. I hated that I couldn't be in a room with you, right? Because if we're in a room together and you get freaked out or you have a question you need clarifying, you're much more likely to ask or you know, it's just a lot easier to be like, you know, hey, Miss Mathis, I have a question, which you guys are really good about. So it's just really hard. I don't know how to help you if you're not asking. And so, especially when I can't actually see you on here. So, you know, I know that you guys don't love sharing this early in the morning, maybe, but I need you to go fill out this form for me right now. It is linked on our calendar, and I also just put it in the chat, and you can just click on it. It's a really short, just Google form that I need your feedback, and I need to know where you're at in the process. So there's just a few questions on there, including your name, obviously. Where are you at in the application process? What barriers do you face in completing the FAFSA? Oops, hold on. That one did not get changed. Okay, sorry, I needed to change that really quick. So if you filled it out already, maybe either put that in a different box or my bad. And then what is your plan? How are you going to get the FAFSA finished up as soon as possible? So when I say what is your plan, I mean, what can you do in the immediate future to overcome any barriers that might be standing in your way? And if you don't know, say, I have this problem, I don't know how to fix it. I need to know that too, so that I can help you know how to fix it. So, and then I just kind of left the last one open if you need any help from me or Ms. Perez or whoever. We are here to make sure that you're getting done what you need to get done so that you can get to college successfully and leave college with as little debt as possible. So I already have a few responses, so thank you to those of you who've done it. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to just do that right now. So click on that link and get this done for me, please. I'm up to 6 responses. Keep going. You're doing this right now, in case you're curious. If you're just joining us, we are filling out a quick Google form. I pasted it into the chat again in case you're just getting in. I just need to know where you're at with the FAFSA. I've got 10 responses and there are 19 of us, so I'll give you a couple more minutes. All right, I'm up to 12. That means 6 of you are still working on it and are gonna get it in here in the next minute or two. While you are working on that, I just want to talk a little bit about the ORSA, which is an alternative to the FAFSA. So the FAFSA is a financial aid program through the federal government, meaning, you know, like Washington, D.C., like big government. An alternative to that, if you need to apply for it, is the ORSA, which is through the Oregon State Financial Aid Office. And so you do not need to do both. You typically would do either or. So if you are an eligible, United States citizen or eligible non-citizen, you file for FAFSA. In the case that you are have an undocumented status, are a DACA recipient, or have temporary protected status, you would file for the ORSA as an alternative. So I don't know if that applies to anyone in here because we don't ask our students what their status is. But if you do find that you're unable to complete the FAFSA because you yourself are a DACA recipient or undocumented in some way, the ORSA is an alternative. We are a sanctuary state, so they would not pass that information down to anyone where it would negatively impact you and your status here. And so we just want to make sure that all people who live in Oregon have an opportunity to receive financial aid and if they're pursuing higher education. So I just want to make you aware of that. And if you do feel like sharing, if that's a barrier for you in filling out the FAFSA, obviously the form that I'm having you fill out right now is a place you could indicate that. And Ms. Perez or myself can help guide you through the ORSA process, but it's very similar to the FAFSA. The forms you would need are quite similar and that kind of thing. So let me know if that situation applies to you and you need help with that. We will be getting to, in the next week, the Oregon Promise Grant. So we will talk more about that. You guys did some research on that right before we left in the spring, and some of you were assigned that, but just to remind you, because I know there are so many programs and things you have to file for, the Oregon Promise Grant, if you qualify, means you could get 2 years free college. And in some cases, the Portland State application exists as well, and you could potentially get 4 years of free education in Oregon. So pretty cool, some unique stuff to our state. I think we're the only state that offers a program such as this, besides maybe it's Michigan has one. So, okay. Any questions on the ORSA that you're thinking, just let me know, and I'm happy to help you out with that as well. Okay, we're kind of just, cleaning house today. There's so many things, you guys, that we've got to be worrying about right now. And I know it's a lot, and I know it's overwhelming. And I know that a lot of these things seem like the same thing, but I guarantee you they're not. So on Tuesday, we started talking about the Common App, and I had you guys go into breakout rooms and fill out these 4 different areas of how to plan for college. Some of it is information that you may have known about, like, for instance, why college matters. I think you're here because you know why college matters, but we're just going to go over each of these briefly. You guys pulled out some of the most important information. You did a really nice job. And so I just want to briefly kind of go over the Common App and what they do and why it's something that we might invest our time in completing. So the reason college matters, as I think by Juan and Damali, they got thrown into a room by themselves, and Jake was off on his own somewhere, and I couldn't find him. It was a mess. But here's what they found. So college matters because it's the foundation of the new beginning of life, giving you access to better opportunities than you would have if you were to have just graduated from high school. So I feel like sometimes we forget that. You have this idea in your head, and it sort of loses meaning over time, but you're embarking on a new life here soon. You're going to leave Beaverton High School, and it's going to become a memory. It's going to be a portion of your life that maybe you'll think of fondly, but you have your whole lives ahead of you, and college is kind of the start of that new life, or at least that's what you've chosen for yourself, right? Because we're all here because we want to go to college. It's important to go to college because you would be able to learn a lot of new things and experience things that you wouldn't be able to experience if you don't go to college, 100%. I credit college with helping me become who I am. I changed tremendously in college. I became more confident. I actually started to like learning, which I had lost that love of learning from elementary to high school. And you really figure out who you are, I think, and what's important to you. It's your opportunity to pursue what you're interested in. Absolutely. For the first time, you're going to be able to choose all of your classes. Some of them are, kind of required the first year or two, but by the time you get into studying your major, all of those classes are classes that you want to take and you're excited to be in. So it's kind of a nice change. It will help you discover a career path with your interests. Absolutely. A college degree can help over time. You can earn more money. The website really laid out every step of education levels and the difference in how much they earn over time. And the final jump was kind of, if you have only a high school diploma, you can expect to earn over the course of your working career about $1.3 million. Now that's after like a 30-year career, let's say. Whereas someone with a bachelor's degree, which is, we know, a 4-year degree, you can expect to earn up to $2.3 million. So a whole $1 million earned over the course of a lifetime difference. So, there are lots of benefits to you in many ways, but, we can't forget there are a lot of economic impacts as well to getting a degree. Paying for college. So, this was sort of some tips or ways to help you pay for college. The first of which is if you go into a field where you are serving the public. So let's say you're a teacher at a school that's designated as low income status, you can actually apply for what's called service loan forgiveness, public service loan forgiveness. And if you get that, if you work at the school for so many years, right now it's 10, your additional loans that you hadn't paid off yet, the government will pay for them because you're doing a service to the public. And so this program has come under attack in the last few years, and people who've actually applied and been promised this and have been working towards it, it's not being fulfilled, though it's a very unpopular opinion to go back and do that to people. So I have faith that this program will continue to exist. The U.S. Department of Education awards about $150 billion a year to more than 15 million students. So we will be looking at this in the future. The Jack Kent Cooke Foundation awards 4-year undergrad scholarships. Scholar Snap is another program we'll look into. They allow students to apply to several scholarships by reusing the same application, which is kind of like the Common App for college applications. Many colleges and universities provide financial aid and scholarship from their own funds. So, like for instance, Portland State has their own scholarship application. So those of you who plan on attending there, we're going to be filling that out this year as well. State and federal government loans, FAFSA, for instance, and ORSA. Never too late to start saving. So you can also be saving for your own college attendance, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your path to college. So we've been checking this frequently since you started high school, but making sure you're on track to graduate, making sure you have all the credits that you need in the right places, and doing that frequently is key. And I will say, if you think this year that you don't have to worry about your grades, that is a wrong assumption, right? One of our tasks every month is that we need to be keeping up with our grades and keeping them in a place that's not going to drag our GPA down. And you guys, I feel so bad for you that in the spring, some of you were taking AP classes and you were going to use that grade to bump up your GPA a little bit, and we kind of lost that opportunity. So colleges know that, and they took that into account. They can still see that you took an AP class that semester. So, it's not for nothing that happened. Finalize your college list, which you guys are actively working on or have done. Register for any standardized tests if necessary. In our case, I don't think it's necessary. Most colleges have waived that requirement for this year. If you're applying for financial aid, make sure you complete and turn in your FAFSA and review acceptances and make your decision. So at some point, we're going to start applying, probably in a couple months, to colleges, and then you'll get, a letter back at some point that says either thanks for applying or congratulations, you got in. So it's an exciting moment. This resource was kind of weird. So this page, the group that got it, there were several PDFs that you could download. There's a really good one for parents supporting their students. So it's a little checklist PDF that is really handy. And it's pretty simple as well. Fee waivers. So this is something we haven't yet talked about because there's a lot to cover this year, but it's likely that we're going to get you fee waivers for your college applications. It can be anywhere from $50 to $100 to apply for a college. And so we want to make sure that that doesn't stand in the way of you applying to a college you want to go to. Scholar Snap, again, I think they're connected to Common App. That's why they promote it. But it's that scholarship form that you just fill out one and apply to multiple scholarships. Types of student aid provided. Gift aid, so like Pell Grants, which is FAFSA, grants from colleges or scholarships. Those are things you don't need to repay. Federal loans, which is money that's borrowed at a low interest rate, and then you just pay it back over time. And there are exceptions given to those of you who may, like, when you get your first job, you make less money. So they base how much you pay back every month on whatever your income is at the time. And then it might go up over time as you start to make more money. So federal loans are our first line of defense after we find out what you're gonna get in grants, which is money you don't have to pay back. And then work study. So many of you found that that was an option you could choose on the FAFSA. That's basically on-campus jobs. So if you're eligible, you can work on campus. It's good money, and why wouldn't you want to do it? So that is kind of the plan for college from the Common App. We are going to go back into the Common App and start filling out our form, I think on Monday. I don't think I'm going to have us do it today because it's Friday. And so I do need you, though. I'm going to end the call soon, okay? I know it's Friday. I know it's been a long week, and you guys had a big day yesterday with filling out the FAFSA. And I need to spend some time going over your answers to see who I need to get in contact with individually. But on Tuesday, you were asked to, if I go back to our agenda from that day, you were asked to complete the first time applicant guide on Common App. If you did not do that, please use this time today to do that. And I'm going to start us doing the Common App next week on Monday, so that we can get that done and out of the way as well. So any questions, comments? Okay, so I'm gonna put into the chat here for those of you who didn't do it or don't wanna go back. Oh, it's not gonna do the link for me though. That's annoying. All right, here it is. So if you didn't do this on Tuesday, I need you to go do it right now, okay? It's long. It's a long, like, little walkthrough of what you need to be doing. Feel free to take notes. We know being an active participant in what you're reading helps you remember the content. So it goes through the whole process. There's videos to watch, and I want us ready to go. If you want to start the application today, you can. It's one of those that you can leave and come back as many times as you need to. So, but I'm not going to have us officially starting it until Monday. So anyway, I want you to focus on the FAFSA. If you're not done, let's use this time. If you didn't get the Common App first time applicant guide done, go ahead and get that done. And otherwise, I want to look over your stuff and see how we can get you to get through this FAFSA stuff. So, okay. I can see you're all shaking your heads and, you know. All this.
Yeah.
I did get a good question just now. Do we use our personal or school email? I recommend yesterday that you use your personal email, because some of these things like the FAFSA, you might still be getting information from them after you graduated from BHS, and they deactivate your school email like a month after you graduate. So I would start switching over now. If there's important stuff that you're getting to your school email, maybe switch it over to your personal email. So good question. Cool. Any other questions before we go? All right, I'm proud of you guys. FAFSA is a big deal, so keep working at it if you're not done. Congratulations if you finished. You'll be getting a letter probably in about 3 months saying how much money they're gonna give you. And then in a lot of cases, we're gonna try and get more out of them. That's the next step, is to try and get more money than what they quote us at first. So have a wonderful weekend. Get your stuff done. Take care. See you later.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Ms.
Ms.
Mathis.
Mathis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Mathis.
Yep. Hang out if you have questions.
Ms. Mathis?
Yeah.
So for the ORSA, can we fill it out even though we already did the FAFSA?
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to do both if you don't have to. So typically students either do the ORSA or the FAFSA.
Okay.